sponsored by Mini Cockpits Mini FCU, launching on Kickstarter on May the 31st, 2023 at 1600 UTC, 5 PM UK time through the summer, or 12 noon Eastern time for those of you in the States. There's a special launch day limited unit price of $99, down from their expected MRSP of $249 US, and it's a product that has been created by real Airbus captains and designed to give us in a flight sim world unrivaled realism. It has custom built LCD displays with details designed to match the real unit, including colour and font. They've replicated the wonderful tactile fidelity, the realism offered via the unique and iconic Airbus FCU push and pull knobs. The rotary knobs have 32 clicks to enhance the realism, matching the identical count per revolution as per the Airbus FCOM, and the product is going to be fully backlit, similar to the real thing. It's also going to have one assignable push button with swappable, expedite, flight director and LS functions, so that you can execute all types of instrument approach independently without having to worry about touching the mouse. During the initial release and initial shipment of the products, they've said that they are going to be supporting on MSFS, the Flybywire A32NX, and the Headwind A330s, the A330-800 and 900, plus the default A320 as well initially. And on X-Plane, 11 and 12, the Talis A320 family, plus their A340, the Flight Factor A320, the JAR Design A320 and the default A330. What's Kickstarter? It is a way for you to help get a product off the ground, created and released. It's certainly worth taking a look at as well. And if it's something that you think, yes, I want, the links to the Mini Cockpit website will be in the stream description for more information, or just head to minicockpit.com. Hello again everybody, welcome back. It's Bank Holiday Monday for those of us in the UK, and we are back in the States, the other side of the pond, checking out some new scenery again in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Great to see lots of you guys in the live chat. Hope you enjoyed that little advert at the start. Stream being sponsored by Mini Cockpits Mini FCU. Same advert will be in place at the start of tomorrow's live stream, alongside a couple of tweets, Instagram posts, Facebook posts and bits. David, Badger, Rab, Doc, hello folks. Good morning to all of you guys, or good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and happy birthday David as well. Hope you're having a good birthday so far. AR Simulations, welcome Elliot. Living on a player. Cornelius, hello, I wish. The product hasn't been released yet. Mini FCU's, well, yeah, the Mini FCU product. It's yet to launch on Kickstarter, 31st of May at 1600 Zulu, 5 PM UK time, midday, I think Eastern time. Today, though, we're flying out of the Fly2High Long Island Macarthur Airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're on the VATSIM network. We're going to have a little look around the scenery first, as we've got GSX boarding the punters for our flight down to sunny Tampa. VerticalSim's Tampa Airport as well. It's a bigger airport than I had actually realised it was, to be fair, and as we saw at the very beginning, they Fly2High have gone and created little elements of the mall on the external kind of like perimeter, if you like, of the airport. So it's given it a little bit of life look around the edges. There's a little FBO base there as well, general aviation hangars, if I put my teeth in. Never good when they fall out. What is a bank holiday? Yeah, so basically it's just a day where a load of banks and things like that close. Obviously retail, airports, emergency services, most of the public sector, all are still at work, but a lot of other people aren't. That's very blurry, isn't it? Look at that. So they make some fairly average scenery most of the time. Elements of it are quite nice. That's very low resolution though, not particularly impressed with that, to be honest. But otherwise the airport is situated north of New York, in quite a nice little location, to be fair. We've got a cool little route lined up for us today. Gary, welcome. Boozer says, how well do you get out a company before you place them on your channel? Oh, how much do you vet a company? So they're a new company. Effectively, they are looking for Kickstarter. Those of you who haven't used Kickstarter before, I've used it for dash cams and things like that in the past, and it's a pretty good way of helping a creator, a developer, generate something from a prototype into an actual product that has been released and launched for sale for the community, which is a good way to get a product off the ground if you don't have the funds initially. Not much vetting to do because they're not really known, but they are a group of real airline pilots, or a couple of real airline Airbus captains, who want to create that scaled down FCU for flight simulation. But obviously without any form of advertisement, people don't know they exist, so then the product never gets created. Hence they've paid for various content creators to advertise it. That's all it is. Yeah, elements of this, I keep thinking it looks really good, like the Sheltair logo, like the, they've put the effort in. This is so weird. They've created a really nice 3D sign for Sheltair, then underneath it they've just like spat some paint on a thing, which I think says 12977, and then they've sneezed over here. I have no idea what that is meant to say. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because the apron look, the apron textures actually look really quite good, and then you look at the hangar up close and it just looks poor. So the apron looks quite nice. This is the main terminal building. A couple of Frontier jets there for one. And ourselves coming up with Southwest as well. It's a big Southwest airport. Terminal looks a little bit lackluster, but otherwise it is what it is. Frontier, of course, lots and lots of liveries available to choose from with them. So they're quite a unique airline, to be fair, and I don't think we've flown with them before in the sim. We're back in the flybywire A32NX today as well. A little bit of an interior for us to enjoy. Again, a little bit low resolution on the signs in places, and then you look at, for example, NBC News, and they've actually put the effort into creating an alright looking sign there, which is bizarre because they're going to go to the effort of creating something nice on the outside or on elements of it. Might as well do the whole lot, right? Let's have a look at the sign. Can't really see anything on that. It's very reflective. That is the terminal, effectively. What have we got down here? Some escalators, which I assume lead outside to the forecourt. Which again is a little bit plain looking, but we're in a flight sim at the end of the day. It depends on the price that they are asking for it, but this looks okay. As a Mondeo, I mean Tesla. Elements of it look alright, don't they? I mean, from a distance, look. Flag waving, but then I've just noticed, actually, if we look at the flag, that's like it's almost like an illusion. It's really weird. Gary, welcome. Ian, hello. Good evening to you. That's kind of all there is to Long Island, to be honest. It's a very small regional airport. Up in the countryside, north of New York. A couple of runways. runway 33 left and right, right being a tiny little runway, and then 06 and 24, which we will be using today for our flight down to Tampa, which is about 2.5 hours. David's using the Freeware KISP, Long Island Macarthur. I assume this is Macarthur traffic. Looks alright, doesn't it? It's just it's a bit weak in some areas. I'd need to have a little look to see what the price is like, but here we are on stand in the Beast Frontier Airbus A320neo. We've got the Puerto Rican crested toad livery today. A frog called Riviero, according to Frontier. So that's what we're flying today. Multiple liveries available on FlightSim.to, but that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Really unique, right? David, some of them you need to go into the installer, like an Orbex or Contrail, and you might be able to change it from there. I wonder if this has got a cabin. I love how it's staring at you on the winglet as well. Oh no, there's no cabin. We're in the Flybywire A32NX. I forget. Whoops. Loading wise, 62.7 tons. Cargo, 172 passengers. Self-loading, and then 5,600 or 5,800 rounded up kilos of cargo. Where are we at on the charts? Right, so we fire up with the charts here. This is kind of what we're expecting for today. So as you can see, departing ISP, runway 24 is a crosswind of 4 knots for us today. Long East 7 departure. So we're going to taxi from the terminal area here. Crossing 33 left down Echo to hold at the hold point runway 24. Then departing westbound. And if we're going to follow the real flight path, what it actually does, the real aircraft has done this as well. Instead of just going runway heading out towards, say, Borno or whatever, and then RBV, what we're going to do to avoid all of the JFK airspace here that we would be heading close-ish towards, we fly the Long Island 7 departure, which is runway heading 239 degrees at or above 3,000 feet. From there, as we're departing, we'll be climbing round back on ourselves to kind of fly downwind north and in the opposite direction to where we want to go, 180 degrees turn, up towards Westhampton Beach-ish, and then we're going to pass Beads. From Beads, we're then going to continue en route. So we're kind of flying this little wigwag, or like wavy line, if you like, a little S, out to Beads and then away. Climb up to flight level 380 for today. As we mentioned though, it's going to kind of look like that, but a little bit more of an S, where the dotted purple line is. Yeah, heading over RBV, Robbinsville, and then down the east coast of the States. A little bit more inland than I thought we were going to be, but that's all good. Should be interesting nonetheless. Down to Tampa, VerticalSim Tampa, and the diversion airport is Orlando. Tomorrow is going to be good. Snake Pit, welcome on board. Tomorrow we are going big. We've got the Super Typhoon it's called, near the Philippines at the moment. We are chasing it and navigating around it tomorrow in the PMDG 737. So we're going to depart tomorrow out of Manila. We've got some really nice payware scenery for Manila, including the city and the area around the airport. And we're going to head over to Kai Tak. We're going to fly into Kai Tak with the 737-800, turn around, and then we're going to fly up to, time permitting that is, to Taipei in Taiwan. Flying into Taiwan for the first time. And those of you who are on Instagram, you'd have seen in the story the kind of rough route where we're going to be skirting around the edge of this Super Typhoon. It's going to be quite fun. Wait for the APU. No GSX profile for this, sadly. Sam is asking, do we use FS Realistic? No, it's I get asked this every now and again. I actually find it quite unrealistic, to be honest. If you're flying airliners, at least, it's you end up turning it down a lot of the time. So personally, if you're flying general aviation, then it's probably worth it. It's pretty good for that. But if you're flying airliners, you end up turning most of the settings down to almost 0, making it entirely pointless. So you're better off really spending your money elsewhere, to be fair. Cabin announcements. We've got the Luke Air Tool, freeware cabin announcements available from them, lukeairtool.net, and Frontier has got a full cabin pack.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board our flight. Expedite boarding, please step out of the aisle once you have found your assigned seat. Your boarding pass shows your designated seat.
And as the crew are getting the passengers ready at the back, we can have a little look at the MCDU. So the departure today is a short-ish runway here at Long Island. Because of that, we're going to be using flap 2 for departure and a flex of 58 degrees. And that's going to give us a V1 of 134, rotate speed of 135 knots, and V2 139 knots. We've done in it A and B, but we need to add in our departure. So we're going to go for 24, long E7, insert, and it's going to give us a discontinuity, which we want to keep in there. We're going to depart and then kind of slalom back towards beads. So it's going to be 090 degrees, I think. Yeah, we'll go for 090 degrees after departure, or 080 degrees after departure. Make a note of that. 080 degrees. Let's go on to 1228. Is it me or does GSX now just take forever to actually load passengers? Density, quicker times, there we go. Zoom, 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 in you get. KISP, beads, Schlep, Bedja, Riced SARDI, RBV. Looking good, that's fine. Fuel prediction, won't get much until after takeoff. How hard is the Airbus to fly? Gary's asking. Much easier than the Boeing. Much easier than the Boeing. It's a great place to start. Ryan's asking about how do you load the follow me car. When you're selecting a gate in GSX, when you've landed and you're taxiing back, basically what you want to do at that point is select the follow me car, and then it will request it, and it will come to wherever you are at that moment in time on the taxiway somewhere. Prepare for pushback and departure. APU bleeds on. That's all good. External powers removed. Order complete. Dispatcher should be down any second to get us ready for departure. Right on time. Make sure we've got the logger on as well for New Sky so we get our score at the end.
Hello, Captain.
And we'll pause the music for now as well. We have things to do. Yeah, only for when you land, Ryan. Rab might use the Antonov 225 for tomorrow. At least there are more engines to kind of work through if one starts to fail.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Roy, you'd have to use the specs command in the live chat. I think it's AMD Ryzen 9 7900X. I think it is. Beacon on. Lights and signs. No white lights. And that's all set. Departures briefed. And I will use in the live chat the METAR command for Macarther. We clear around. We are jolly good. Let's rock and roll. We want the nose left for this today.
Locking gear.
Altimeter 2999 now. Wow. So that's 1015 still. Oh, David, that's not good. Macarther traffic, Frontier, flight 4033. Stand Alpha 3. altimeter 299er. Push start facing west. No, east.
Release parking
Correction,
brake.
east. Macarther traffic.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
A whole 3 pages of specs indeed. Okay, so ignition mode norm. Onto ignition start. Master switch engine 2. Run. There goes the new custom PTU sounds that have been in the flybywire for a little while now.
Please make sure your seat back and tray table is in the upright and locked position. Check seat to see whether it's securely fastened. Don't carry your items or stowed. Your small electronic devices must be held secured in the pocket, seat pocket, or carry on for takeoff. At this time, please direct your attention to the flight attendants in the aisle. In the seat back pocket, you will find the safety information card illustrating important safety features of this aircraft. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the flat metal end into the belt.
Set parking brake.
On pitch to ground, we have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
With 8 emergency exits. You have 2 door exits in the front. 2 door exits in the rear cabin, and you have 1 only exit on each side. Each exit is equipped with evacuation slides. Slides at each door may protect you against the draft. In addition,
There goes the Southwest pushing back with GSX. Love it. Such a funky livery, isn't it? Had to choose the Toad.
In the event of a water evacuation, your flotation device is a flight vest, which is on the plastic bag located in the pocket on your seat. It's used to illustrate with the information card.
Contract disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
So use the light vest lift over your head.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Bassy. If you enjoyed today's live stream, of course, press the like button as well, and if you are new to the channel, it'd be great if you hit subscribe. How are we doing down here? So, flight controls, all the way right, back to neutral, all the way left, back to neutral, elevators, back to neutral, and job done. We check the rudders. I always do a couple of rudders because, unlike real life, Microsoft Flight Simulator does struggle with actually remembering what the settings are that you have for them. And we want flap 2 for departure now for today. Wow, is anyone else's Simlink not starting automatically when you start Windows? Macarther traffic, Frontier Flight 4033 taxiing from the terminal to hold point runway 24, Sierra, cross 33 left and echo. Oh, look at that, brakes off, taxi and idle, love it. Ribbit. Simlink, let's see. Weird. Yeah, Simlink's being a bit odd. Trying to go old school. Reese Boys had some similar issues. Hold on a second. We need to go left. Yeah, there's 3-3 left. My god, we almost got lost. Living on a Player saying when you consider this aircraft is freeware, it's really good. They've done a great job with it. Going to pop strobes on auto, so they should recognise that we're entering a runway and therefore turn on themselves, but all good. Crazy how much you end up relying on SimLink.
Macarther traffic, Osprey 2472 is pushing back from stand A29 and will, correction, Bravo 23 and will be facing to the east. Macarther traffic.
Spoilers armed. There's the windsock. I'll let someone else call on my behalf. Oliver, we're on VATSIM. Takeoff config test, no blue. Crossing the little general aviation runway now. 33 right. It's quite average, this scenery, isn't it? Unfortunately, certainly for pay wear. Not terrible, but it is bad in some areas, like some of those textures as well. Just you can't hide from how bad it is. Yet then the apron and the taxiways, the textures for those and this part around here they seem to have put a lot of time and effort into it and made it look quite nice as well. It's a little bit bizarre, isn't it? North Europe, I think, Olivier. Hello, Anne. Welcome. Very good, thank you. I hope you're well too. TARA, that's all good. Rudder trim is set to neutral anyway. Let's pop the transponder on. We're squawking 2000 for today's sector without any ATC currently. Unicom 1228. Quick check of V-Pilot. Indianapolis and Jacksonville are online, but no New York. That's fine. And we briefed for our departure as well, so we know what to do to copy or mimic the real life aircraft. James, yeah, this is the Toby eye tracker. It's pretty good. So you go toby.gg/BritishAvGeek if you want to buy it, and it will give you, I think if you use the code BritishAvGeek at checkout, you get 5% off. Macarther traffic, Frontier flight 4033 is lining up at runway 24, taking off Long Island 7. We are landing on the one's hands, yes. So, stick forwards. Selecting for 40%. Two clicks, flex, SRS. Toby eye tracker's been a bit weird there, it's kind of put me sideways, so let's turn that off. Slight crosswind. Through 100 knots. So I'm trusting the Toby eye tracker here. No, the VATS airplane toolbox. D1 rotate. 3 degrees a second, MSFCom rotate speeds, and following the flight directors, positive rate gear up. Left turn, round to beats. Fly this first little bit manually.
Macarther traffic, Osprey 2472 is taxiing to runway 24 by Sierra Bravo 4, crossing runway 33 left, and Echo crossing runway 33 right, and we'll hold at Foxtrot. Macarther Macarther traffic.
Flaps 1. $100, 1000, autopilot on. Flap 0. Little bit bumpy. Beat is there, so we're going to go left 090. And Macarther traffic for to flight 4033 is 2000 feet heading 090 beats. $250 knots. We'll keep climbing. 39380 for today. And for the first time in a little while, we are airborne. Might want to slow down the drone camera rotate there a little bit. But it's quite a weird departure here because we end up going northbound to route away and around New York airspace before then heading back south. Quite bumpy as well. There's the airport in the backdrop. Ground spoilers disarmed. Surely there's no the real flight surely didn't go all the way to Beats. That's so far away, isn't it? There we go, going straight towards FOK, that's good, that's what we want. And that's all set in the climb. Down below us, just under the wing, in fact it'd be easier if we go here to look at it. We've got Shirley Brookhaven, and then Calverton Executive up there as well. Suffolk County, West Hampton Beach, just on the nose, 2. I think we're going to not go all the way to Beats. Where are we going to? So after Riced, SARDI, that'll do. Direct 2, manage mode, round we go. Oh, look at that, above us. Runway turn off lights. Keep the signs on for now for a moment longer until we go wings level.
And we do thank you for your attention. Once we have reached a safe and comfortable cruising altitude, your flight attendants will be to up the cabin to offer you beverages of your choice, followed by our international flagship meal service. During the course of our flight, snacks and beverages will be available. If at any given point you wish to sleep undisturbed,
Martin, great to hear, buddy. Thanks for joining us today.
Fasten seatbelts on the outside of all garments or blankets, so as your crew does do free and safety checks. You to see yourself that will result in having.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? We calculated the performance there using Bass Airplane Toolbox, and it told us to use the D rate that we'd set plus flap 2 for departure. Now, interestingly, I would have probably favoured Toga with flap 2 there. As Doc said, quite a bit of a long takeoff run there, lifting on the touchdown zone the other end of the runway, pushing it somewhat there. Mini FCU have reached out as well via email. They've said they've had a couple of requests already based on the advert at the beginning of today's live stream. with the Kickstarter reward tiers. So they've said to provide clarity and avoid any confusion, we've attached an image outlining the details of each tier. Here's a quick overview of the reward tiers. The launch day special that we referred to in the advert was $99 US, limited to 1,000 units, available for the first 24 hours only from 12 Eastern Time on May the 31st to 12 Eastern Time on June the 1st. Then it moves up to the next tier, which is the Super Early Bird tier. The price then goes to $129 US, limited quantity, no time limit. And then the Early Bird tier, once they sell out, the next tier is the Early Bird, $159 US, followed by a Kickstarter special of $199 US. And if you wanted to buy two, you can buy two for $298, with the different reward tiers available via Kickstarter when Mini Cockpit released their Mini FCU on Kickstarter in less than 2 days. It's a very exciting product, to be fair. Where's that plane gone? There it is. Oh my god, we're right over him, under him. That's pretty cool. So that aircraft there, I'm trying to find them on Volanta at the moment. It is American 1418, and it's an A319 flying Boston to Philly. That's quite cool. And then he's going to split off over that way now, so we will slowly lose sight of him. But I shall use the opportunity. JFK's somewhere on the nose. Use the opportunity to try and pan the camera around to perhaps get a picture, or a screenshot rather, of him. I feel like the drone camera settings have all changed. Oh, he's too far now, isn't he? Look. Very cool though. I do like the contrails on VATSIM. That's a bit better. 3 and 9. Ribbit. Okay, 29902 for standard pressure. James saying, I'm fairly new to Microsoft Flight Simulator, now fairly competent at the Airbus platform, but purchased the PMG 737-800 variant today. Making a plunge into the Boeing side of the sim, interested to see the difference between the two. Yeah, it's a much higher workload, as Elliot said. It's pretty full on at times actually, but you get a lot more back from it. It's still my favourite, I think, by a fair stretch amongst all the options available currently in the sim. But to get you started, James, head over to our channel's playlist section and you'll find a whole section dedicated to PMDG 737 tutorials to help you get started. Roy, yeah, stand by. I'll put it in the live chat, Roy. There you go. And that's like an affiliate link. It's pretty good. Use it primarily more kind of just taxiing. When you're up in the air though, you can kind of like look around a little bit as if you're a passenger, but it's a setting that I tend to kind of toggle on and off depending on where I'm taxiing. And that's it really. General aviation, it's really useful. Helicopters, very, very useful, because you can just leave TOVI tracker on and you can be panning, looking around, leaning towards the window, looking around. Really cool coastline there. And there is JFK, which means LaGuardia is over there somewhere. There's LaGuardia. Which, to be fair, we've not flown into for a little while.
Okay, traffic up to 675, expected on board Kilo 1, 410 left via Hotel, Alpha and Kilo, Kennedy.
Clipper 217, re-clearing taxi on Kilo Foxtrot to hold short of Alpha.
Jack is almost in
Clipper
view.
217.
DCA and BDL tower online. Damn it. Did someone say earlier it was Memorial Day in the States as well? I assume that's very similar to a bank holiday, which means that you guys most likely will be off work. There's the mighty JFK. Fantastic innie builds scenery down there. One of my favourites. Huge airport. Finally, really well made. We should really fly into that more often, to be honest. Han says Memorial Day is a paid holiday for me. They're very nice. Automator's going to a baseball game later. Epic. Baseball, basketball, cricket. I always find them so confusing. Spent a long time trying to learn the rules and laws around NFL, American football, but very much enjoy it, the NFL, to be fair. Travel 2, I wish. It's a very expensive game, sadly, for learning to fly, and it's kind of designed to be, it's an industry for rich folk. It's probably the only way to really kind of put it, really. If you're very well off or come from a very well off background, you could probably become an airline pilot if you've got the aptitude, because you've then also got the funds. But the price at the minute, realistically, for aviation training, it comes into around £120,000, which is in dollars, 170,000 US dollars. Something like that, 160,000 US dollars. Which in theory, or in reality, would mean that I would have to sell my house, go and live in a very small flat somewhere to be able to afford the training. So it's something you can't really do. You can't jeopardise your quality of life for something at a massive risk. English, please, in the live chat, so I don't have to sit there translating everything as we fly along. Thanks, Doc. Hans is flying to Philadelphia tomorrow in real life, unfortunately. Yeah, tomorrow we're off to Manila, then Kaitak, then pretty much, well, time permitting, then flying into Taiwan, scudding around the big super typhoon Mawa that's over in that region at the moment. Be interesting to see how Microsoft Flight Simulator handles that with live weather. Doc says, imagine trolling using Bahasa Indonesian when the admin is also Indonesian. Legendary. That's why we have an international moderator community group. 100% travel to, 100%, because you know I would give a lot to become an airline pilot, but you have to be reasonable in what you can and can't do and achieve sometimes. I mean, I've tried to complete my private pilot's license twice, and the price of that has become extortionate. It's almost £15,000, about 25,000 US dollars, just to get a private pilot's license in the UK now, because the cost of fuel and everything else. £250 an hour. Ridiculous. How can anybody, you know, in 10 years when they moan that they don't have enough pilots and the current pilots are all retiring, yet folks like us have tried and not been able to afford it, and then the younger generation can't afford it at all. I think they'll be scratching their heads wondering what to do, because a lot of airlines now don't want to throw significant amounts of cash into flying training like they did years and years ago with integrated sponsored pilot schemes. James, in the sense that it's a Boeing, so the decisions for things are ultimately down to you as the pilot. It's not an amalgamation between you and the computer, it's you making the decisions. You making sure that the data's correct, you making sure the autopilot is handling everything correctly. Much more hands-on. Exactly, living the dream. Yeah, so for those people in the UK, or outside the UK more so, to be honest, certainly in the US, you'll find flying in the UK, general aviation, very alienated, because it's an alienated community effectively. Nats, as Living the Dream has kind of alluded to, have put so many airspace restrictions in across the country that it has shrunk the available airspace for general aviation flying quite considerably, and a lot of the airspace now you can't fly through, so you end up all flying in very, very congested general aviation Class G airspace. But that's because effectively Nats don't want anybody to fly general aviation anymore. So then how can you, it raises so many questions. Most people end up flying abroad to try and get their pilot's license. Wow, Living the Dream sold his aeroplane 7 years ago because it was so difficult due to Nats. I suppose a mix of Nats plus the actual costs as well. Elliot, exact same. I'm the exact same. I was gearing everything up to try and get sponsorship programs for an ATPL in the UK, like yourself, and then obviously that happened and it changed everything. And for folks like us, it's basically put a stop to a dream that we were pursuing for years. But we have things like Microsoft Flight Simulator allowing us to kind of fulfill that a little bit. It's not the same as real flying. Even when I flew the PA28 in real life, it's not quite the same. You don't get the feel of the aeroplane behind the controls. Let's have a look, see how we are all doing. So our departure, I think maybe I could have gone for a 15-degree turn instead, come out the coast a little bit smoother, and then gone direct to. But it almost looks like the real route that we're kind of replicating today. today's flight. Ian's airborne. David's airborne as well. Southwest 569 in the 737. And then ourselves just over Trenton at the moment with a couple of screenshots, so it's not really uploading them all. DCA approach online, although we'll be over the top of them. We've not flown into DCA for a little while actually, to be fair. Good old Volanta, failing to upload all of our screenshots. It's a cool little airfield though. I hadn't actually realised that we flew over this little Bayport aerodrome on the way out. You can kind of see the routing that we're taking today. Hopefully Jacksonville stay online. Oscar, miles ahead, look at that, ISP to Tampa, wow. Wow, really? It failed all three. I'll keep doing it until it kicks in. Who's flying along tomorrow, by the way? Oscar in the chat, hello to you as well. Good evening to you in Korea. Yeah, the river's looking fantastic below, isn't it? That at the moment, the airport down there is, well, that's all of that in fact, is Philly. It's Philadelphia International Airport, just down there. Is there a payware scenery for Philadelphia? Not sure if there is. Looks fantastic though, doesn't it? All the photogrammetry below. Rab and David and Ian hopefully flying as well. It's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. A couple of hours per sector. Oh, MK Studios. No, there's another Philadelphia one. I'm not buying many MK Studios stuff anymore due to what they've done with Dublin. I expect they'll do the same for all the other stuff. Elliot Epic, he says there, I'm lucky in another respect though, my second dream job worked out and now present a daily primetime radio show across Devon. Very cool. Martin was asking about the map app that we've just used. It's Volanta. Volanta.app. It's ran and managed by Orbex. A little bit of weather around Baltimore and Washington at the minute, as I think Living the Dream mentioned a moment ago in the live chat. Said I was at DCA before I flew up to ISP, and it was at minimums dumping it down. David, good afternoon. Hope the Canadian folks yesterday on VATSIM Canada enjoyed the traffic. Missed Aneurysm, hello to you as well, loving the streams. Because of you and your information you provide, upgraded my system similar to mine, and MSFS has never looked so good. The 7600X runs a bit hot though, it does a bit. Dominic Design Team Philadelphia, yes, that's the one. So that's the one that I'm trying to go and get basically. So maybe next week we can fly out a Dominic Design Team's Philly, because the city from above looked remarkably good in the sim, doesn't it? David, epic, that's good. I suppose a lot of other people have then seen traffic and ATC coverage and kind of dived onto that as well, looking for somewhere to fly. Living Dreams is one of the nicest paywares I've bought. That the DCA from Drzecki Designs is pretty spectacular, isn't it? There is Doc. Sam says I've been trying to try the managed mode on this Airbus, but it always seems to take me too high over the airport and I end up having to do a go around. Which version are you using? Are you using the experimental branch or the stable version or the development branch? Because that would be the kind of decider really, because not all of them have got the proper kind of VNAV element to it, I don't think. We're on the experimental version today from the flybywire installer. Oh my goodness, David, have you changed anything, any settings or anything like that overnight to cause the crash to desktop issues? Unless it's maybe the graphics driver. Have you got the new graphics driver? If so, roll back to the February one. It's the only one that seems to work stably at the minute. Sam, try the experimental version, buddy. But you've got to make sure as well that when you're setting up things like approaches and everything else. Wow, look at all that weather. That's the one I was mentioning a moment ago. Really sunny up in New York. That tail is brilliant. Riviero, the Puerto Rican crested toad. Living on a player, welcome. Went a little nuts this weekend with the indie build sale. Hoping my wife doesn't look at the credit card statement anytime soon. Nice. Yeah, hopefully not. Just get a second credit card. Mikey Mo. No, just using WASD and the numpad on my keyboard. Oh, I thought that little line there was a contrail, but it's not. If it helps, David, we'll be flying over. Let's see. Trying to find one that's pretty big, I guess. Charlotte in about 30 minutes, maybe. Either that, or you could depart DCA. We're going to be flying over that imminently. Or Washington Dulles. It's always another option. Good to see that Flybywire have done good work. They continue to do good work for the community as well, because this is a remarkably good bit of kit for what is free. Same with the Headwind A330, which I really enjoyed yesterday. Very impressed with what they've done with that. It's nice to have a fairly reliable A330neo that we can enjoy and kind of trust enough to do decent flights with. We had two very enjoyable sectors yesterday in the Headwind A330, working remarkably well. Very impressed with what they've done there. And this doesn't really get enough attention anymore, the Flybywire A32NX, in my opinion at least. Most people enjoying the Fenix quite considerably, and they're not really kind of using the A32NX that much anymore, but I think this has still got a really good place in the sim, and is almost as good as the Fenix in relation to the amount of detail that it's got working with it. Never heard of Taxi to Gate Automator. If you know who they are though, get them to get in touch with me, and maybe we could do Philadelphia to MCO or MCO to Philly perhaps next week. David A is not a fan of Fenix right now, he says. I'm finding all of the bugs more and more frustrating as time goes on, to the point where I feel like it's a little bit unacceptable, some of the messiness that we have to put up with it. Baltimore, so around GVE and Hams we should start to see Washington DCA below, although this amount of cloud underneath us suggests we probably won't get to see it. That's the point. Does this have a weather radar with Simbridge? Let's start Simbridge again. I know it caused me a few issues yesterday. Dan, yeah, so turbulence, try and set to medium or low. Low is probably the most realistic one. Doc said that a couple of times in the live chat over the last few weeks. Icing wise, turn your icing settings in the sim to visual only, because it's all a little bit of a mess, the icing settings in the sim currently. So Simbridge is fired up, terrain map is on. We don't have weather radar though, have they? They've turned that off. Carson, yeah, that is very cool. When AAU2 comes out properly, we will fly both the 748 and the 787-10 on a stream somewhere. We'll do shorter sectors. We're not going to do long haul with it. We're going to do shorter sectors, a couple of hours in cruise maybe, to go through all of the different tweaks and the changes and discuss what it's like post-release properly. We'll put it through its paces. Both aircraft should be good. Aviation Blaze, yes. Experimental branch of the Fly2High A32NX. God, clouds look remarkable there. It's good to know you're on the latest driver, living the dream, and no crashes on the latest update. They have said that they're trying to work with NVIDIA, aren't they, to try and sort that out. Haven't noticed any bugs yet so far, Sam, on the experimental branch, to be honest. The one I usually use all the time is well, it has most often been the development branch, but the experimental branch for a long time was the only one most of us used. There's a little aeroplane down there. Hopefully you can see that tiny little speck of white flashing lights just there. They've literally just flown around the edge and through that cumulonimbus cloud there. And that is Dan Smith in a 787-10, apparently, on Volanta. Megastorms. There he is again. He's going right underneath. Where's he flying to? It doesn't actually say. I think he's going into DCA in the 787, which is under that. So we're not going to see that, unfortunately. Wow, Simbridge. Let's turn Simbridge off. That's interesting, isn't it? So the last time we used that was yesterday. And very quickly, having turned it back on again, we're getting weird behaviour in the sim with Simbridge. There's our resident oxygen thief, Pilot Tim, aka that flight sim player, and all the other 10 different sad accounts that he's got. Yeets, get out. It's making it quite easy, to be fair, now, because it's all accumulated into a rather large report to YouTube. And I'm working with other content creators to get him completely blocked from most of Google. That will work well, won't it? John, hello, good afternoon. Just spent the last 4 hours trying to find the wife's car keys. Just found them. Oh my god. Where were they? My god. Mikhail, welcome. Carlson flew the 747 yesterday from Chicago O'Hare to LAX. Was pretty impressed. Only a few bugs. What were the bugs, out of curiosity? Were they quite significant, or were they things that we can kind of work around? Birdman says, David A, well, replying to David A, saying Fenix aren't half dragging their heels on releasing version 2, where it's claimed that they'll have fixed all these bugs and improved performance quite considerably. Andy says he's turned off Simbridge a long time ago and haven't looked back. It's kind of weird, wasn't it? When they introduced Simbridge, it was like a response almost to... it was almost a response directly to what Fenix had done. With rendering stuff outside the sim and then loading into the sim, but yeah, Simbridge doesn't seem to work very well for me. It causes a lot of performance issues and lags and stutters and weird things. So, I mean, we've turned it off now, and all of a sudden it's nice and smooth again. So, perhaps Simbridge was the root of the issue yesterday. Which means that we will have to fly back to Calgary at some point to double check. Because we mentioned a few times yesterday that there were issues with performance and lag and stutters. I'm wondering now if it's Simbridge that was causing the issue, not the scenery. David says, how do you turn Simbridge off? You just go to the flybywire program, flybywire installer. I always had auto start off anyway, so I have to go into the installer to turn it on again. You just check your task manager little system tray, see if it's running. Living on a player saying he does find Calgary's new scenery to be heavy on performance as well. Larry, thank you, buddy. Good morning to you. Very generous of you there to offer a little super chat for the channel. Thank you very much. Very kind. Crikey, John. My goodness. At least you found them, that's the main thing. Fish gun fitness? No, you don't. The only thing it really gives you is like terrain radar, that sort of thing. So it allows you to then render in the terrain radar on the screen. But you need Simbridge for that. Without it, terrain radar doesn't do anything. It's basically in-op. Yeah, interestingly, most people seem to be deactivating it and not using it. The complexity of the cloud density there, and the variations of all the different cloud types. The sim does look remarkable, doesn't it, at times? Right, I think it's time, just to be careful, just to be safe, to do a bit of a fuel check. So what have we got? GVE in about 40 miles. Just trying to load up my OFP. Which in fairness, actually, I could do it on here. Let's see. Is it this one? Yes. So if we scroll down, because then you guys can see what I'm checking as well there. GVE Gordonsville VOR. So let me just move in a bit more, just in case you're watching in a lower resolution. GVE, estimated fuel on board 6.5 tonnes. And currently we've got 7.7 tonnes. Happy days. We'll monitor that. We've got 40 miles to go anyway. 6.5. I would imagine we're not going to burn anywhere near that amount in that short space of time. Which means we're nice and comfortably above our fuel predictions. Dragster, big question there, saying, do you prefer the Fenix A320 or the Flybywire A320? If both were free, which would you pick? I would pick I'd probably pick the Fly-by-Wire A32NX, to be honest, out of the two, because I get less problems with it if both were free. But then the Fenix has got a really nice cabin and some really good things about it, beyond the bugs and the issues that some of us currently experience. Yeah, I'm kind of in a mid-zone with the Fenix because I really enjoy it. But the way that some of the bugs ruin the experience, just kind of teetering me over the edge a little bit of version 2's taking too long, and I just want it to work nicely. My god, how high is this cloud? Pop belts on, just in case. Rab, I'm sure you are. What are you flying again? The longitude? John, yeah, experimental branch, buddy. Got right in the cloud. So I've seen something on TCAS behind us at the same altitude, so now a little pan around, see if we can see them, but we can't. A couple of miles behind, perhaps. To be fair, we wouldn't necessarily see them through the cloud anyway. Do you remember when Fenix said that they were going to bring sharklets out a little while ago, as well as IAEs and all the rest of it? weirdly enough, they've not mentioned anything about sharklets in any of their recent updates. Dan's saying we need the Chinese C919. We'll have Airbus and Boeing's bastard child. Have you seen the cockpit? I haven't actually. But I'd imagine when they get people to steal trade secrets and files and things like that from Boeing and Airbus over the years, they probably end up stitching most of the code together. I was watching something about how the Chinese had destroyed industry in the States. I think it was an actual FBI video on YouTube last week about how they'd stolen all the trade secrets from a wind turbine company in America, in New England, I think it was. Not a place I really want to visit anyway, to be fair. Apparently VAS airplane toolbox for, is it landing? Let's have a little look. It's saying config full. Approach speed about 142 knots. Estimated landing weight 65.8 tons. Water brake low with reverse will give us a stop margin of 1,301 feet at Tampa. Full length is 3,353 meters. Got a long way to go yet. Here's Elliot saying there, given the extent of the simulation going on with the Fenix, I don't mind taking a few bugs along the way. It takes a few goes to bake the perfect cake. It does I don't know, it's just a bit frustrating though, isn't it? It's like I said, it's not perfect, but bearing in mind it's a payware product, they've extended this version 2 for a very long time. It's been coming soon for a very, very long time, and progressively, with I suppose the way that they manage a lot of the simulation externally via their Fenix app, I just think maybe it's got to the point where there are too many problems now and it starts to just frustrate people. I find the experience quite frustrating at times. But when it works, and it works really nicely, I really enjoy the Fenix. It is a very good aeroplane in the sim. Yeah, as Dan's saying, the last update was from like last autumn-ish. Almost a year ago, the last proper update for Fenix. Too long. As Birdman's saying though, I kind of get the delay because they're effectively like doing open heart surgery on, and they're all, with version 2. But I just think it's taken too long. B-Lyrics, hello to you. Should do. Check your browser, maybe refresh your browser, or if you're watching via YouTube on the app, maybe restart that, or check your stream speeds and things. Should be working fine though. Certainly on this side, saying that there's no errors. I think we're going to hear bits of news here and there, Dan, rather than multiple, loads of releases for it. TFDI Designs, for example, have put something on Twitter recently about whether or not they have got. Yeah, what was it? It was on. Let me find it. They put something on Twitter about the fact people are buying the. They bought that beta thing, didn't they? Ages and ages and ages and ages ago for a lot of money, effectively. TFDI. I'll read it out so I don't get it wrong. We're still devoted to perfecting the MD-11 so that you can experience the most immersive and realistic flight simulator experience possible. Stay tuned for exciting updates on this iconic aircraft. But that's it. I don't really go into any other progress updates or anything like that, which is a little bit weird. But bearing in mind people have purchased a, I mean they've purchased this this stuff. I mean, I'm glad I didn't pre-purchase the MD-11 because it was only about a $10 US difference, I think, from memory. For the fact of saving $10, I'd rather just wait for it to be released properly to then know that I'm spending money on something that is going to be released as an aircraft add-on. It's not just going to kind of vanish. It'd be interesting to see what comes out of Flight Sim Expo. I was hoping to go this year. It was in Houston. Just that, things haven't really worked out for us timing wise and all that sort of thing. But maybe I'll go next year. Should be interesting. It's meant to be huge, massive event. I'm not sure we'll see the Universal Flight Tablet by Flight Sim Expo, Dan. It's only a few weeks away. I reckon we might see it nearer to August. Veelering saying there, I wish QW Sim would give us an update. Is that Quality Wings, isn't it, with the 787? I think they've disappeared, to be honest. Cornelius, yeah, I think it's the drag racer chap again. Got to give him a little bit of rope. David's going this year. Epic. Andrew, good morning to you. Took the BAE 146 out for a flight last night. Takes some getting used to. He says, yeah, certainly the smaller variant. It can be quite nippy, but quite choppy at times as well. Busy cockpit, like you say. I barely made it down into London City, Andrew. It will happen very, very quickly. Yeah, Drag Racing 101, let's see. Drag. Add it to my list that we share with other content creators of that one guy. Cornelius, thanks buddy. Epic. Very generous. Gifted 5 channel memberships for the next month. Congratulations, James, welcome. Absim, Adam, William, Ehawk. Nice one, guys. You've got a channel membership for a month. Courtesy of Cornelius. Put my teeth in again. Oh my god. Bit of a tongue twister. Thank you very much, Cornelius. That's very, very generous of you. And for those 5 of you, make sure you link your YouTube account into your Discord user settings, or the connections menu thing, and it will get you access into the club lounge. Carla, welcome. Oh yeah, PMDG Global Operations, Andy. I'd completely forgotten about that, to be honest. Yeah, Andrew, it's a bit of a knack. I know with the 146, you've got to deploy the speed brake out of the tail as you're kind of crossing the threshold, and then as you go wait on wheels, you click it again as a bit of a keybind, and it will then further extend the lift spoilers on the wings. But they will only come out once the speed brake at the back is deployed. Automated, so it relies on people reporting the comments effectively. So I'm doing it. I'm trying to get all the other content creators that are being affected by this one guy to report the same as well. And then eventually try and get him banned from YouTube entirely. David, nice. Taxiing at Charlotte. Not on my display there, though. The new update, Andrew's coming at the end of June. By the way, folks, if you are watching and you want to be in with a chance, if somebody gifts memberships out, you want to be in a chance to be able to get one of those gifted memberships at any one point in the future, you've got to make sure you've enabled the option inside your YouTube settings, so it allows you to have memberships gifted to you for a month. Certainly worthwhile checking. I'm not exactly sure where the settings are, but it'll be in your user settings on YouTube somewhere. Someone in the live chat might know more precisely. And is that when it's due? 23rd of June? My goodness. Not sure how quickly I'll be able to stream around then. That'll be roughly the time that Loki comes back after his major surgery. So I'll be in some mad recovery period. James, epic! Thank you, buddy. First super chat from James on the channel. Very generous of you. Thanks for the support.
Thanks for the PMDG tutorial playlist. Your VATSIM videos gave me the confidence to start as well.
That's great to hear. You're very, very welcome. Great to hear you getting into VATSIM as well, nice and confidently. Glad you found the PMDG tutorials useful too. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Jackson Phil are still on. Charlotte's got tower delivery both online. David's got ATC. Trying to find Charlotte on the map. Oh, actually, you know what? Very, fairly shortly. Actually, oh, there's Charlotte. So just after Charlotte, in fact, we'll be speaking to Jacksonville Centre 135925. 135925. Is that set ready? Rosk, 7 tons, 5.8. My god, fuel burn's totally different. We might be nearer to our maximum landing weight, you know. 67.4. We're going to have to watch this very carefully because we're above maximum landing weight. We might have to try and figure a way to sort that out. Maybe I'll just burn a bit more fuel. We'll do Mach 80 for a bit. For a couple of minutes. More thrust, more drag. That's the thought anyway. Hopefully that'll increase our fuel flow anyway, fuel burn and things like that. Should be good. We'll see what happens. David saying I'm always end it up slightly over maximum landing weight. Maybe it's an issue with the what you call it, the actual profile itself. I think you're right. We'll have to monitor it and see, because it might well be that it's all a little bit messed up with the profile, so maybe the fuel flow needs to be repaired and changed a bit. Larry, thanks buddy, another super chat. Going well, thank you. Thanks to everybody who's hit the like button so far as well, folks. Really appreciate that. Larry saying, hi Captain, I'm from Calgary. Saw your stream yesterday landing at Calgary. The airport looks fantastic. Thanks for showing it. Great to hear. Thank you very much. Andrew, so if you've got a 3080, there's no point getting a 4090. You're better off waiting if you're going to get a new computer for something like a 5000 series. Sure, the performance is better, much better, but you need an entire new computer for it as well. So it's a question of cost and how much value you think you can get out of that difference between those two generations of graphics cards. But I was going from a 2070 Super, so for me the jump to the 4090 was massive. James saying, such a good feeling completing your first VATSIM flight. I just copied your script from YouTube onto a notepad and went for it. Edinburgh to Manchester. How did it go? Edinburgh's great to fly into and out of as a new pilot on VATSIM. Absolutely. Great place to start. I'm curious to know what sim brief profile we're using though, so I'm just going to try and dig it out, work it out. A320neo fly-by-wire, A32NX, saved airframes. Want to compare it against the data we've got. 174, 8420, 42500. It's interesting because the profile we're using is a direct match of the fly-by-wire A32NX 1 instead. What I might do is I'll go -2 on the airframe fuel flow selector and we'll test it. So the so basically the Osprey fly-by-wire profile now has a -2% fuel load on the profile. So we'll see if that maybe changes it for those of you flying later on perhaps. John, yeah, don't go for so the 4060 and the 4070 Ti I think it is. Horrendously bad reviews. Avoid like the plague. The only one that really seems worthwhile getting is the 4090, but the price is of course huge. But if you're going to spend the money buying a 4000 series GPU, save up a little bit more and get the 4090 instead. The 4060 and the 4070 Ti, I think it is, have just been absolutely slated. I haven't heard anything good about them, to be honest. A lot of people saying that their 3060 Ti has performed better than the 4060 or 4060 Ti. Yeah, you might be better going a 3080 or something, or a 3070 Ti, as Badger said. You might then be able to keep a number of your components in your current PC as well. Brab's saying he's past Slow Joe, the weather's looking much better. 40 miles for us, it's roughly the edge of this front. And then we'll have clear skies down to Florida, hopefully. If you hold on a little bit more, John, you might find that when the 5000 series comes out, you might be able to actually get a 4090 for the same price as a 4060 or a 3080 perhaps, who knows. Slodjo, 5.3 tons. We're like 1.5 tons over, almost. Bizarre. A lot of good things in the chat about the 3080 Ti's and all that sort of stuff. Automated, someone else is in the live chat then that's got AMD GPUs. We've got ATIS at TPA. We've got a custom GSX profile for Tampa installed. No ATIS. We'll use the METAR command in the live chat at TPA to look at the current winds. And then, to be fair, because we're in the States, we can do DATIS cloud with the w.io/KTPA, and it will give us the real life ATIS for arrivals at Tampa. Information Lima, 360 degrees at 7 knots, broken to 24,000 feet. Temperatures 23 degrees, temperatures 19 degrees Celsius. Sorry, dew point. Temperatures 23 degrees, dew point 19, altimeter 29902. Visual approach, runway 1 left, and runway 1 right in use. Visual approach. Okay. Lock runway 1 right and runway 10 Pappies at OTS, which I think means that they're off, they're not working. Turbojet arrivals, that's us. Expect runway 1 left for noise abatement. We'll go ILS 1 left in here, but we might actually do what the ATIS has done, suggested, and fly a manual approach, a visual approach. DATIS 1, no via, insert. cool. Should be quite a good approach this actually by the looks of it. So to kind of show you guys, where are we now? We're at Slow Joe, we are, so let's tune 135925. That's Jacksonville.
1975 is currently passing 3,900 feet.
Jet 1975, turn left, direct Ormond Beach, climb and maintain 7,000.
Turn left, direct to Ormond Beach.
Climb, maintain 7,000.
Fly, maintain 7,000. Exit jet 1975.
He's got so many things clacking away in the background there.
Fly level 280.
Descend and maintain flight level 280.
29906 in the night bot, but the old 29906 for the altimeter.
November 6, Juliet 3, runway 35, clear for the option.
Cleared for the option. November 156, Juliet 3.
Jacksonville Center, good morning. Frontier Flight 4033, flight level 380 in Van Dilby.
Frontier 4033, Jack, squawk 7167, good morning.
7167, good morning, Frontier 4033. Ah, what was the squawk? 7067? 7067, I know the chat will catch up. 7167. My pen was in the incorrect place. Thanks, Dan.
ExoJet 1975, just proceed direct Craig, clear direct destination.
Chris Beckett's bought a 4070 overclock just a week ago, almost a third of the cost of a 4090 and having no issues at all.
Cross Lama, add and maintain.
But I only use Microsoft Flight Simulator and run a at 1440, not 4K, works for me. 2K is great, but yeah, I've got a 4K screen. I've got to say, 4K is just mind-blowing. It's a whole different experience than, at least for me, previously in 1080. But yeah, you've got to obviously have a 4K monitor for that.
Listen, please. Cross the intersection Lama. If you look at your arrival, there will be a waypoint called Lama at 15,000. Altimeter 29095.
Okay, direct Lama, altimeter 29095 at destination.
Okay, the words direct Lama never came out of my mouth, sir. I need you to fly the arrival as it is and cross Lama
Updates, Lizard, Lissaf, Guzda, Borst,
okay, we'll
Jetstream, then discontinuity. So,
150.
Frontier 4033, your radar contact 35 north of Columbia. Flight level 380, welcome aboard.
lovely. So,
Jacksonville Center,
BAAMF.
American 1123, flight level 360, just northwest
Corey.
of the Chesterfield DR.
Wait, hold on. Where are we
American
flying? Dates 1.
3 Jacks, good morning.
Yeah, BAAMF, Corey, Capo,
squawk
Edison,
3036.
Olean, Marvy, Coco, Dates.
3036, meter.
Then Lizard, Lissaf, Guzda, Borst, as we saw there, with 210 at 5,000. We can see that on the MCDU. Borst, 210 knots speed restriction, 5,000 feet. Jetstream at 5,000 as well, at 210 knots, landing runway 1 left. ILS is what we've gone for, but we might well do division approach instead. Oh, David, that's not good again. Or airborne again, not crash to desktop again.
But
yeah, there we go. So, flying from Jetstream, we've got the vectors, the tiny little triangles going off there. Yeah, the wind's changed massively in Long Island, hasn't it? Top left of the screen, it's now a 10 knot tailwind and a crosswind of 2 knots runway 24 where we departed. Madness.
Flight level 360, welcome aboard.
We're from Jetstream, we're going to be flying westbound to intercept then the localizer effectively.
Delta, radar contact 45.
We'll either fly the ILS approach or we'll fly the visual approach. Haven't quite decided which yet.
Thank you very much. Good to be on board, Southwest 56 Delta.
Frontier 4033, clear direct TEUFL, Tango Echo Uniform, Foxtrot Lima.
Direct TEUFL for Frontier 4033.
Southwest 569 Delta, clear direct TEUFL, Tango Echo Uniform, Foxtrot Lima.
Happy days. Little turn. A couple of miles off.
Direct TEUFL, Southwest 569 Delta.
What are we doing? There we go. So where were we?
Confirmed, that is direct TEUFL.
Missed approach, to climb to 500 feet, then climb left turn to 3000 direct.
Thank you.
So Petersburg,
569 Delta, same Mach number.
VOR and hold. Continue climb and hold to 3000 feet. Nice and easy for the transitions here, and 211 for the MDA for the ILS.
1123, same Mach number.
0.77, 1123.
Roger.
Delta 2983, request descent clearance.
BGCI and ILS glide path not coincident.
For either one of us. I told you 3 times to cross Lama 15,000 and you read it back 3 times, sir.
Someone's getting told off for doing some mad stuff on VATSIM. I love it.
So let's try this again. Delta 2983, descent to cross Lama.
Metar,
KTPA.
KTPA.
15,000, Orlando altimeter 29095.
Descend and maintain flight level 150. 29995 at Orlando. Delta 2983.
Okay, you're in the United States. Below 18,000 feet, there's not a single flight level, I promise.
29996.
Sorry, 15,000. Delta 2983.
Wind 360 at 7.
Miami's offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change is approved. Good morning.
FedEx 724, switching over uniform.
And we'll just go for 211 on the Barrow.
Exojet 1975. Jacksonville altimeter is 29094.
One left is a long runway, so if we do low auto brake and reverse, we would probably vacate around Whiskey 5 into Tampa. And Doc said we want Echo 73, so
number 6 Juliet 3.
I'm already looking ahead into parking gates.
You can taxi to the GA via Delta Charlie.
Oh nice, so Whiskey 5, and a very short taxi then, cross onto Victor 4, airside Echo 73. Or we can even go Whiskey 5, Victor 3 into the apron actually, that's more sensible. Happy days.
Jacksonville Center, November 1562 at 3.
Chance probably, but again it depends on your spec and budget, because you might be able to save up a little bit more to get a 4000 series. But if you think 3080 is going to work for you and it fits your budget and everything else,
so just taxi straight ahead,
and it's what you want to buy, go for it.
Left.
It's a good GPU, the 3080 from
Southwest
all accounts.
281, contact Jacksonville approach on 127.0. Good morning.
127.0, good morning, Southwest 281.
It's all expensive anyway, as Chris Pack is mentioning there anyway. If you leave it long enough and you have a big enough upgrade, it is like night and day, which is what I've experienced from upgrading the computer from my old rig to the new one. It is night and day. The sheer performance difference is insane.
Exojet 1975, Jacksonville Center.
Who knows, David?
Exojet 1975, Jacksonville Center.
Sorry, Ed, my comms messed up. Going to 127.04, Exojet 1975.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Jacksonville
sounds chaotic today, doesn't it? It sounds like a lot of messy pilots.
Jax, I'll send you a PDC, just keep an eye on your cruise altitude.
It's always worth, folks, having a little look through the charts, trying to think maybe ahead of what your controller's telling you to do as well, so you can try and work out what you're likely to be asked to do, and you can plan for it, and then have a backup in your head as well ready. So if you get told one thing by ATC, you've got the charts ready, and you've briefed yourself for what to do, so nothing is a surprise for you. Long time since we flew around the States though, and it's nice. We've 2 days in a row now had some ATC.
Good morning, 2472 with you, inbound Ilby, flight level 360.
Viewers got told off into Denver yesterday though.
Call sign. One more time.
Osprey 2472.
Legendary call sign.
Osprey 42472, Jack Center, good morning, squawk 3021.
3021 for Osprey 2472.
American 490, radar contact about 45 north of the Columbia VOR, climb maintain flight level 340.
340, American 490.
Jack Center, Southwest 921, approaching PDC to Fort Lauderdale.
You say you're requesting PDC?
Yes, requesting the PDC for...
Okay, just watch your cruise altitude, I changed it for you.
It's busy. It's nice flying around somewhere different because it does throw you a little bit. It makes you have to think. Regional differences. So
Southwest 569 Delta,
6.2.
you able to do 0.79er?
TEUFL 4.3. My God.
Southwest 569 Delta, Jacks.
Delta 1278, welcome. If you're watching.
Osprey 2472, radar contact 33 north of Columbia VOR, flight level 360, welcome aboard, clear direct TEUFL, Tango Echo Uniform, Foxtrot Lima.
Deeper Dolphin, epic, nice one. Should be good. Been flying the 739 last days, the 738 is so short. It's
Radio check for Jacks.
very lanky, isn't it?
Okay, let's try this again. Osprey 2472, clear direct TEUFL.
Direct TEUFL for Osprey 2472.
Hoping the controller's not getting too frustrated. Ed, welcome. We're using the experimental branch. Although we tried Simbridge earlier and had a load of issues, to be fair. Quite a few issues with it, so we've kind of ended up turning Simbridge off.
Number 4, Mike Whiskey, a pilot's discretion, descend and maintain 4000, advice when you have weather and NOTAM since they approach request.
24 Mike Whiskey, leaving 8000, descend 4000, and Wilco.
So I guess there's not that many options. I can give you the RNAV alpha or the visual, whatever works for you.
24 Mike Whiskey, looks like a clear day out. I'll overhead for the
Bravo Victor X-ray indeed.
Okay, so just a visual then, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can expect that. And Southwest 921, did I send you 15 left?
Yeah, you gave us 15 left for Southwest 921.
Yeah, that was just a fat finger. 35 left.
I will expect 35 left. Thank you, Southwest 921.
No problem. American 490. Actually, disregard. Osprey 2472, reduce speed to 0.74.
0.74, Osprey 2472.
American 490, what's your current Mach number?
777.
Let's see. Somebody behind, I think.
Give me whatever your best forward is for now, please.
Okay.
Southwest 569 Delta, Jack.
Oh, good behind still. Imagine if pilot could do this in real life. They'll just pan around and have a little look.
569 Delta, Jacksonville Center. Can one of you guys get a hold of him, please?
Try to multitask Southwest 569 Delta.
Okay, multitask on this side so I don't have to call you 5 times, please. What's your
Wow.
current? Can you increase to 0.80?
Yeah, I can increase to 0.80, Southwest 565 Delta. And I'm
Thank you.
asking your direction. Sorry.
American 435, Atlanta didn't join the party, radar service
To be
terminated.
fair, he only called
Change
you
approved. Good morning.
twice, and the second time he was trying to call you
American 435.
whilst you were replying. Jeez. He needs a coffee. The other pilot that's I'm getting like a dot chat on VATSIM at the minute, 1278, saying I don't want to do anything wrong with this guy.
3673 Jacks, good morning, runway 36 right, taxi via Echo 1, Foxtrot Charlie, Bravo 10.
Echo 1 Foxtrot Charlie, Bravo 10 for holding point 36 right, America, United 673.
The methodology of the weight.
Sierra, fresh off the oven at Orlando International, wind 010 at 7, the altimeter is 29996.
Regional differences like the descend via the star and a few other things as well. The transition altitude being one of them. So yeah, regional differences. There are a lot of them, to be fair. Alex, welcome. Cracking the whip indeed. Yeah, descend by the stars nice and easy with the States.
Frontier 4033, what's your current Mach number?
Mach decimal 81, Frontier 4033.
No, it doesn't seem like I can ask you much more than that.
Sadly not. I was preempting a request for an increase of speed.
And Frontier 4033, you're clear direct Olean, Oscar Lima Echo, November Echo.
We'll go direct Olean, Frontier 4033.
Southwest 569 Delta, clear direct Olean, Oscar Lima Echo, November Echo.
That's not in my plan.
Oscar Lima Echo, November Echo.
Oscar Lima,
Southwest
November
569
Echo.
Delta.
Check Center 24 Mike Whiskey, level 4000, and I have current information for Quincy.
There's Aline.
And number 124 Mike Whiskey, roger.
TEUFL and BAAMF.
Number 4 Mike Whiskey, a pilot's discretion, you don't have to descend now, but a pilot's discretion, they can descend and maintain 2000 and just advise whenever you have Queens inside.
The pilot's discretion 2000, and I will advise you 24
Clear
Mike
that
Whiskey.
up. So we've got a slight issue here where we've had a couple of direct twos, a couple of shortcuts, and that now has meant that our fuel burn is a lot higher than it should be.
Good morning. Copa 704, flight level 360.
We're expected to reach Tampa with 4 tons of fuel on board.
Copa 704, Jacksonville Center, good morning, Squawk 1006.
And that is in comparison to
704.
Delta 1278, Miami's offline, radar service terminated, frequency change to approved. Good
You
morning.
know what, that's supposedly
Here
what
comes
we are going to
Delta
arrive
1278.
with according to
Yep.
SimBrief. That doesn't seem right. Destination fuel on board, there we go, that's going to be more accurate, 5. So it'll be a ton heavier.
2983, flight heading 170.
Which means we should be just above, just below.
Copa 704, radar contact 16 north of Ola, flight level 360, need to have you in a node altitude, would you like one up or down?
Thankfully this,
We can have one up, Copa.
the flybywire experimental branch can manage that. We've done a direct 2 that's not in our flight plan. Now it should have been,
To flight level 370.
because if we look at the charts, we did
American 490,
BAAMF
climb and maintain, flight level 380.
and the date's arrival.
380 American 490.
American 490, you clear direct Olin, Oscar Lima,
But
Echo, November
all of
Echo.
that isn't on there. Probably because I've misconfigured something, perhaps. Not sure. Either way, we typed it in manually, Olin, and we're flying direct air, for which there is a little H in a square next to it, which suggests there is a charted hold if it's busy into Tampa, and it would be that
490, that is
179 at a right turn,
for me now. You can reduce
359,
now.
then 10 nautical miles for the leg, before then committing further in towards Tampa. But I'm sure it will all work out in the end.
November 8 Bravo Papa, Miami's offline, radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Good morning.
Alright, over to advisory for November 8 Bravo Papa. Great job today, thanks.
Thank you.
Jax United 673, we're holding short Bravo 10, fully ready.
United 673, RNAV fax, runway 36.
We're flying Frontier anyway, Doc. They'll have just completely ignored it.
Fax 36 right, clear for takeoff, United 673.
American 1123, what's your
Yeah, Live the Dream got told off.
We are doing 0.77, 1123.
American 1123, roger, you can increase to 0.79er.
We're hoping here, flying at Mach 8.1 is increasing the thrust power, it's increasing our speed, but then the first reaction to that is an increase in drag as well, so hoping that that's just going to help burn a little bit more fuel.
Let's do 0.78.
0.78, 1123.
Jayfoot says, I'm not convinced the fuel calculations in the Fly2High A32NX work properly. Check them again when you start your descent.
Delta 2983.
So we noticed in the headwind yesterday, fuel prediction was completely wrong.
Descent and maintain 8,000.
But when you go into the perf page, it seems like that might have been a bit correct.
The ILS 9er right.
Okay, descent and maintain 8,000 feet. Melbourne kilometer.
Tampa is 299 at 8 now.
9 right. Delta 2983.
I think let's just check in the live chat with the METAR command as well.
Mike Whiskey level 2000 with
compare it against the one on VATSIM.
Number 4 Mike Whiskey.
Showing winds variable at 4 knots, 10 statute miles.
Squawk and maintain VFR, no traffic observed between you and Quincy. Good morning.
1253Z. So the VATSIM one is the most recent, 1353Z. Variable at 4 knots. I'll paste it into the chat for you guys.
1673 is 1.7 for 7,000.
9673, thank you for
Broken.
catching the 7,000.
Flight level 220.
Contact. You can climb
Broken at flight level 280, 25 degrees Celsius.
Left turn direct Osprey.
Alright, 16,000.
Duke 119, altimeter 2998.
673.
American 1123, left turn direct Olin.
Direct Olin, left turn
67.4. Max landing weight. And I've wrote that on my notepad because we've got to be careful, we've got to watch it. So we are currently a ton, 1,000 kilograms higher than we're supposed to be, but we still have 240 nautical miles left. Hoping we can burn out a little bit more fuel.
And Osprey 2472, just need to open that gap up about 10 more miles, and then I'll have normal speed for you.
Okay, Osprey 2472, cheers.
Delta 2983, turn right heading 180 now, descend and maintain 5,000.
Turn right 180, descend and maintain 5,000.
Reminder for tomorrow, folks, if you are just tuning in, haven't scheduled the stream yet, but we are flying around the Philippines and around, more interestingly, Super Typhoon Mawar that's in the region at the moment. Super Typhoon, a hurricane, tropical storm, all kind of the same sort of thing. So we'll be flying tomorrow in the PMDG 737-800 out of Manila. We've got some really nice scenery from Manila, the airport and the city around it. We're heading out to Kai Tak, and then turning around and going up to Taiwan, Taipei International as well, skirting around the edge of that super typhoon. David, yeah, I had the same thing. So you just got to type Olean in on the Direct 2 page, add it in at the top, and then press execute or insert, however what it is, and then it will draw a line to Olean. And then you might have 1 or 2 waypoints left here straggling. Just clear them carefully one at a time, just in case. To make sure before you commit to any deletes that you've deleted the right one. Depot, it does. Victor Hotel X-Ray, I think it is, VHXX. Ah, those were the days, John, yeah. Big old messy spaghetti on the nav display when the Fly2High A32NX, the early days of. Good times. That's when you look back and you think, you know, remarkably how much the sim has actually progressed and come on. Doc sent us the route for tomorrow as well, I think already. He's been putting the route together for us once again. Doc spends a lot of time in the background when we're configuring and planning routes. Doc spends a lot of time actually making those routes for us as well, which is really nice. First leg, 1 hour 40 minutes total travel time, flight level 380, and then a turnaround, time permitting for the second leg though, as always. It's 1 hour 20 minutes block time. 35,000 feet from Kai Tak to Taipei. Yeah, very cool. In fact, we saw it yesterday, in fact, and I'll see if I can maybe pull it back up again. Hold on, windy.com. Is it that one? Yes, there it is. So this is the region that we're flying around tomorrow. Bear with me while I just shrink and fiddle around with the window a tad. God, how big is this loaded up? Right, there we go. So we're going to fast forward the storm. To about there, and that is what we're going to be flying through. So Quezon City over here, roughly, that's where we're going to depart from, or in the vicinity of, with the winds. We haven't turned gusts on yet though. There we go, that looks a bit more powerful, doesn't it? So gusty winds, fairly unpredictable scenarios for us. Expected a fair bit of rain as well, look. And some thunderstorms in the vicinity, using windy.com for this. And then we're going to be flying up from Manila, where it says Quezon City there, through this red murkiness, all the way up to Hong Kong, arriving at Kai Tak, where it's still going to be a little bit windy, 10 knots-ish, 15 knots of gusts, roughly. Turn around there, and then weather permitting, time permitting, through this into Taipei, which is going to be mad. The second leg, if we can make it, is going to be absolutely wild. 44 knot gusts, 45 knot gusts in some of these areas here as we descend into Taipei at the top here. And then that in itself, the weather that we would expect.
Jackson 673 at Osprey, 16,000.
At 30 knots on arrival, 27 knots on arrival, so it's going to be mega
673, thank you.
hectic.
Fly level 340.
Up to 340, United.
That's tomorrow. Going to be insane. The most challenging flying I think we're likely to have ever done on the channel, so you don't want to miss it. We'll be doing it in the 737-800. Pilot Ty, welcome. Saying I love the Phoenix, but the fly-by-wire is just absolutely coming around and fun to fly. I'm huge on Airbus, so I'm happy they're giving it attention. David, good job. Found the split scimitar 737 in the end. Osprey Airways, Ashton. What was one of the suggested slogans for Osprey a little while ago? If you pay, we'll take you there. It's the first time flying into Kai-Tak from, is it World Update 11 as well, or Sim Update 11? They added Kai-Tak in, didn't they? Might have been the 40th anniversary edition. Not actually flown into there since. Should be quite nice. Flying Panda says I'm going to have to try this storm in VR, probably with a with the bucket nearby. Bucket and a new change of maybe new change of trousers as well, perhaps. Doc saying he's prepared 2 different scenarios for us in case we want to land on different ways. Depends what the TAF is going to be.
Delta 2983, turn left, heading 120, 120 degrees. Join the localizer.
If we look at the TAF for Hong Kong, David, no, he doesn't.
Delta 2983.
Right, so roughly 290 at 10. That's Hong Kong's TAF Terminal Aerodrome forecast for tomorrow, roughly. We don't know exactly what it's going to be like at Kai-Tak instead, because obviously that airport is long gone. No weather profile for... Yeah, so that's as close as we'll get, to be fair. Oh, David, I can't promise anything. I'll try not to. Coastline's looking fantastic, isn't it? Top of descent is coming up now in 70 miles. So, we're going to go low auto brake. We want to
Jacksonville Center,
check
good
the
morning.
RadNav page.
543, we have Sierra, would like to pick up IFR2.
Just in case we get the ILS one left. 1089er IAMP, 4-letter code, inbound course 007. That works.
Delta 983, about 8 miles from 5 up, maintain
1164 for PIE, so we'll tune that for a missed approach just in case.
Maintain 2000 until established on the localizer, and yeah, just establish on the localizer and clear.
We'll leave the other one on auto tune. And that is it really. We've done the winds, we've done the performance data. We've configured for just like a Cat 1 ILS approach, but we'll try and maybe fly the visual approach because that's what the real ATIS says in real life. So I'd imagine most would be doing that in real life as well. What do we got here? Go for the coastline for a little bit.
Delta 2983, descending 1600.
So 2983, you're clear for the ILS approach, sir.
Cleared ILS approach, 09 right. Delta 2983. Macarther 490's back.
Thank you.
Have a quick look at Volanta. See how we're all getting on. That's our little route for today. Past New York, over Philly, Washington, over Charlotte, down through South Carolina, crossing a little bit into Georgia, and then into Florida. And we're currently down on the left, as we saw, was Jacksonville International Airport. Won't be long now before top of descent. Got a couple of folks all flying along in the background there. John, yeah. Yeah, it was in the hangar for a little while, wasn't it? Change that to constraints. That was funny. Absolutely, Dan. Yeah, you can say to your controller if you want to step away for like 5 minutes during cruise or something like that. Could be anything.
Delta 2983, runway 9er right, clear to land.
Could be toilet breaks, could be coffee break, could be a quick, run down, grab a bite to eat sort of thing. That's all fine.
Delta 2983, runway 9er right.
Just ask the controller, just say, can I take 5 minutes away from the flight deck? In real life, a pilot's going to step out, stretch their legs into the galley every now and again.
Delta 2983, Jacksonville Center.
God.
Delta 2983,
I assume that's not one of us.
Center. There we go, thank you.
My goodness.
Frontier 4033, cross Olean, addon maintain 13,000, Tampa altimeter 299er8, maintain 300 knots or better on the descent.
Across Olean, 13,000 altimeter 299er8 and speed 300 or better for Frontier 4033. $300, 13,000 at Olean.
Southwest 569 Delta, cross Olean, addon maintain 13,000, Tampa altimeter 299er8, 300 or better on the transition.
Okay, cross Olean at flight level 13,000.
300.
300 meter.
Top of descent right now, look at that, boom. 13,000. So, quick little change, vertical revision at Olean. So I've asked it to do 300 or better. I believe it's 300 plus, isn't it? Is it plus? No, 300A. Ah, oh well. We're on it. Managed descent. I'm actually holding my pen just in case. Just in case the controller says something with a lot of information in it. Don't get it wrong. What, 2998 wasn't it? It's 2998.
Center, Southwest 941.
Which is 1015 QNH.
Juliet 4 on Juliet, question taxi 35 left.
Southwest 921, runway 35 left, taxi via Golf, Hotel 10.
Taxi via Golf, Hotel 10, Southwest 941.
And Jack Center, Frontier Flight 1051 through flight level 280, climbing flight level 380.
Frontier Flight 1051, Jacksonville Center, squawk 1044.
1044 in the box, Frontier Flight 1051.
American 1123, cross Olean, addon maintain 13,13,000. Altimeters 29908, 300 knots on the transition.
It's keeping us all pretty fast, to be fair, into Tampa.
Thank you.
We're going to have our work cut out decelerating.
2983, runway 09 right vacated, standing taxiway Charlie.
We're at 1228's ready as well.
Delta 2983, you can taxi
70
Alpha to the terminal.
Right, so we're 500 kilograms above maximum landing weight at the moment, so I'm hoping we burn some of that in the next few minutes, otherwise we're going to be over. Which means we're going to have to extend the approach to make sure we don't land heavy.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha and cross runway 05, Delta 2983.
I'm just going to let this speed bug run up at the minute, because Mach 81 is going to keep chasing it as we descend. That BNE barber pole there is going to rise slightly to nearer to about 320-ish. But we want to target 300 at or above.
1195, runway 35 left, taxi via
Whitson, good question. It depends really. How much you're going to use it. I don't use the state save function. It's one of the things I don't really bother with. But the screenshots and everything else is quite nice. Down we go. Quite steep though. 4,200 foot per minute. My God. Follower Spikes. Thank you, buddy. Very generous of you. Thanks for the super chat. You guys have been really kind today. With those. Pop seatbelt sign on.
Copa 704, Miami offline, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved, Copa 704, bye-bye.
Frontier 1051, radar contact 8 north of Columbia, climb maintain flight level 380.
Climb maintain flight level 380, Frontier flight 1051.
Now it catches up.
American
ATC heard you needed to burn some gas.
13,000. Tampa altimeter 29908.
Appreciate it.
Knots on the transition.
We need to burn the fuel, don't we?
Okay, cross Olean at 13,000.
How are we doing? So 300.
On the altimeter, maintain 300 better. American
through transition. We'll go for 305.
324.72, cross
It's going to keep a steep, we'll go 310.
13,000, Tampa altimeter 29908, do not exceed 280 knots on the transition.
Cross Olean at 13,000, QNH 29908, and do not exceed 280 on
transition. I love it. A little bit of haze there on the city ahead of us, over Olean. We've got the cabin announcements from the Luke Air Tool.
Shot from the flight deck and seatbelt signs on. It's going to remain on for the duration of the flight.
Jackson Center Southwest 920, run ready for 35 left head. Hotel 10.
Southwest 921, RNF, go home, runway 35 left, clear for takeoff.
Keep smashing the like button, folks. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe as well. You don't want to miss tomorrow. We're flying around Super Typhoon Mawa. It's going to be great. The most challenging flight we've done in a while.
Their service items as well.
Thanks to Cornelius so far as well. Dropping 5 gifted channel memberships. And Polaris Spikes and Larry as well for those super chats throughout today so far. GRVD, yeah, hopefully. I do want to do ATR around New Zealand. Maybe we'll work something out for next week. Haven't flown into New Zealand yet with the new computer. really want to. VerticalSim's very good, Ed. Their Tampa's remarkably nice. I paid for it as well. It's not one that's been sent to me for a like a promotional thing, like a preview thing or anything like that. It's one that I've purchased myself, and it is really nice.
Jack Center, Southwest 921, passing 19 for on the Carnival home.
678, 400 kilos left to burn. It's going to be tight, you know.
Climb 14,000. Definitely didn't forget top box 2 there, Southwest 921.
So we have to land with less than 64,400 kilograms.
RNAV, go home. Let's kick out 35 left, Southwest 1195.
Yeah, Ed, you'll have a look at Tampa when we get there. See for yourself whether or not it's something you want to purchase yourself or not.
And Southwest 921, clear direct to UK.
Clear direct to UK, Southwest 921.
Seatbelt signs, no lights required yet. Decent little steep descent here. VNAV's handled this pretty well, hasn't it, to be fair? The experimental fly-by-wire branch. Bearing in mind as well that we've really pushed it, we're doing a descent at 310 knots to maintain the speeds requested requested of us by ATC, and it's handling it quite nicely. Whitson, epic, good to hear. Love watching your stream on my TV versus the laptop. This ad pop keeps on happening.
1,600.
Weird.
Southwest 1195, radar contact, climb maintain 14,000 unrestricted.
14,000 unrestricted, Southwest 1195.
Jackson, good morning, Virgin 129, Romeo, final 380.
We mentioned yesterday YouTube's been changing a few things with streams. I think they're trying to mirror Twitch a bit more.
Virgin 129, Romeo, Jacksonville Center, squawk 1032, 1032.
Still not burning much fuel. Doc saying YouTube has recently been putting ads on live streams as well. Yeah, that sounds like a very Twitch thing. We managed to skip a few of them yesterday, but it just means I've got to have the right screen up at the right time when it gives me like 20 seconds to skip it. James, tomorrow's stream's going to be madness. Absolute madness. Artix, welcome. Right. Alberta, good morning to you. How is Chile this morning? Carson, tomorrow Manila to Kai Tak, and then time permitting to Taipei, skirting around the edge of Super Typhoon Mawa. It's going to be very interesting. They're on FlightSim.to, Whitson. 13,000 at Erlene. Ding ding, we're there. Right on schedule and right on speed. So higher speed, higher drag. We're going to need more thrust, more drag therefore.
And Jacksonville, Midwest 2319 on the ground at Orlando, ready for IFR.
Interestingly enough, he hasn't said descend with the star. So we're kind of being stepped back, stepped down by ATC.
Southwest 382, my platform center offline, radar service terminated, frequency changes approved. Good morning.
Dates on, have Marvy, no, that's 6,000, so Borst at 5. Stepped us down pretty low actually here for this.
Frontier 4033, Tampa offline, radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Good morning.
A frequency change approved, radar services terminated, Frontier Flight 4033, thanks ATC, good morning.
Southwest 921, climb maintain, flight level 28.
Okay, we are on normal frequency. We'll keep our speed up, that separation. Monitor Unicom. Now it's just down to me. We've still got like 60 miles to jet stream. We're only at 13,000 feet. I feel like we're too far. 40 miles. Lissaf, Guzda, Borst. Yeah. We need to be at Borst at 5,000. Absolutely, Whitson. Tampa traffic, Frontier Flight 4033, A320neo inbound, altimeter 299 at 8, passing Dades on the Dades 1, expecting visual approach runway 01 left, will report beam the fields. Tampa traffic. So I don't want to commit to the descent too quickly, because if I do, it wants a day to 1168. It's going to mean that we're going to have to decelerate quicker. Go to 5 now. See what it gives us. We've only burnt 100 kilos of fuel. God. So those two direct 2s have really pushed our fuel up a bit. Should be fine. Interestingly, this little bit here is taking us along this interstate here, or this is it freeway, highway, freeway? There's Tampa Airport by the looks of it. Right on the nose. On the coast. And at this point now I'm going to go to managed speed, because I want it to level off at 10,000 and reduce to 250. So I'm at Lizard now, reducing our speed. Now it's going to go level for a moment as we reduce to 250 knots. Dan said, I've been on a flight where a guy from Virtual Finnair reviews to Direct 2 as per company policy when instructed by Bucharest Centre. That sounds like madness. Virtual gravity is looking really good from this altitude. Really good. Brendan, thanks buddy. Welcome aboard, joining us as a new channel member. Bronze Frequent Flyer, thanks for your support. Make sure you link your YouTube account into your Discord user account and it will get you access into our club lounge. Yeah, interestingly, the arrival seems, there's the airport, the arrival seems to be taking us over the central business district, but kind of alongside this big motorway, or freeway. Back between the two big freeways there, look. Luke's, no, that's just a Volanta stream overlay thing. I don't know why it does that. VATSIM network is the one we're on. One's free and one's payware, that's the biggest difference, Colonel. This one's got a few of the little bits missing from it in a way, if you like, but otherwise they're much of a muchness. They're pretty much very similar in what they can do. The experimental branch, this one is. VNAV is actually better in this than the Fenix, in my opinion, it seems. Tampa Executive on the left. But then private flights. And Tampa International Airport there. Performance wise, this is better for me than the Fenix. Ah, David, I wouldn't worry about that. 8.3 is pretty good. And we're almost back in Florida with Riviero, the Puerto Rican crested toad. Such a great livery. There's about 15 or 20 different liveries on FlightSim.to available for Frontier. This one's got to be one of the best. There's the airport. We're going to be down imminently, providing we've burnt enough fuel. Ed, yes. Get some speed brakes out. 600, my god. 200 kilos left to burn. How are we going to do it? We might have to fly dirty. I.e. leave the speed brake out a little bit, let it burn some fuel. I need a little deflection there. MacDill Air Force Base is underneath us apparently. Oh, that's the that's MacDill Air Force Base. There's Tampa, looking great. Not sure what that is. Is that Tampa Executive? Not sure. Puller Spikes, welcome on board. Joining us as a channel member. Thank you very much. Wants 210 knots here, so we've got to go to flaps 1. That's good for our fuel burn. Jetstream at 210 knots as well. Sort this out a little bit. MacDill Air Force Base. We're flying runway 01. Living the dream. 01 left. Oh yeah, I suppose you could do 01 right as well. Tampa traffic, late call Frontier flight 4033 is extended downwind. Further visual approach runway 01 left, will report turning final. So Jetstream followed by a discontinuity. So it's down to us to then get towards Lagu, which is fine. Ooh. And changing to Tampa approach 11815.
Camp approach, American 1123, we're at 8,900, descending via the day's arrival. American 1123,
Living the dream, you might not be able to do 01 right now.
9 or 8. Do you have a preferred runway? If not, I'll put you on ILS 1 left.
2998, and we're set up for the ILS 1 left, if that works for you, 1123.
You can expect it.
Okay, looks like the ILS 01 left approach, American 1123.
We need that fuel burn to go down. Oh well, we'll just run it. Tampa approach, good morning. Frontier flight 4033, A320neo, altimeter 29908, passing Jetstream 5000.
Frontier flight 4033, Tampa approach, good afternoon, your radar contact. The Tampa altimeter 29908, are you set up for any specific runway?
Hey firm, ILS 01 left, but could take a visual as well if need be.
Alright, Frontier 4033, roger, descend and maintain 3000, depart City Storm heading 270, expect the ILS 1 left.
Descend maintain 3000, Jetstream heading 270 and expect ILS 01 left, Frontier 4033.
Tampa approach, American 490, currently at 110, direct Lizard.
American 490, Tampa approach, good afternoon, your radar contact approximately 25 miles northeast of the field. Tampa altimeter 29908, expect the ILS runway 1 left.
270.
Expect the ILS 1 left, and I do have the weather in Tampa, American 490.
Still a little bit above maximum landing weight.
Good morning, Southwest 569 Delta, 5000. Inbound Jetstream was set up for ILS, for on a 01 right, but I can't take ILS from way 01 left if you require.
So the 569 Delta Tampa approach, good afternoon, your radar contact 7 miles southeast, east-southeast of the field. The Tampa altimeter 29908,
Lights and signs.
You can expect the RNAV runway 1 right.
29908, I expect RNAV for 01 right, thank you very much.
.109, 1089.
Frontier flight 4033, 9 miles from Lagu, turn right heading 16, correction, turn right heading 340, maintain 2600 till established, cleared ILS runway 1 left approach.
Right, 240, correction 340, maintain 2600 till established, Frontier flight 4033. .340, 180 for now, 2600, step down. We'll go flap 2, because it's going to allow us to get a bit more drag on the aircraft.
Right heading 270.
I'm just on turn right heading 270.
Use a bit of speed brake here.
American 490, say indicated airspeed.
250, sir.
Richard, yeah, doing an ILS now.
Ready speed 240 knots.
240 knots, American 490.
And Tampa approach, Osprey 2472 with you inbound Davies and descending through flight level through 12,600.
Last aircraft calling, taking your call sign.
Osprey 2472.
Yes, power.
Osprey 2472, Tampa approach, good evening. Your radar contact 29 miles northeast of the field. The Tampa altimeter 29908. Expect the ILS runway 1 left.
ILS 298 and expect ILS for runway 01.
Ground spoilers armed, flaps 2 is giving us a bit more drag. Therefore a bit of fuel burn.
American 1123, I need 240 or greater until J-Storm.
240 greater until J-Storm 1123.
Blocks active, Cat 3 single. Autopilot 2 engaged, Cat 3 dual. But we're not, we're going to turn it off after the last little bit and hand fly the last bit of final approach. Flap extension speeds, flap 3, 185 knots. Ooh, that's right on the edge. It's a bit too choppy windy wise for that though. I think maybe we'll wait. Flap 2's sufficient for now. Glide slope is armed. There's the Air Force base. Notes on the charts about using that with Tampa. I'll make sure we've got our charts ready. So climb to 500 feet, then climbing left turn to 3000 direct St. Petersburg, BOR and hold. We'll continue climb and hold to 3000. Frontier Flight 4033 is established 12 miles. ILS 01 left.
Frontier Flight 4033, roger. Wind variable at 4, runway 1 left, clear to land.
1 left, clear land, Frontier Flight 4033. 4033. 4033. Don't even know how to say that in American ATC style.
Southwest 569 Delta, 7 miles from Moody. Proceed direct, Moody. Descend and maintain 2000.
Get gear out now.
Clear
Again, more drag. We're just now on maximum landing weight. So I'm hoping this bit of drag early is going to help bring that down a bit more. That extra bit of power there for the drag on the airframe. Here we go, Tampa coming up. Glide slope's active.
2,500.
160, flap 3.
American 1123, we're good to
Full
go
flaps,
down to
extension speed, 177 limiting speeds.
American 1123, affirm.
Speed's good for full flap now. Extends. Full flap. Landing gear down through the green. Missed approach altitude is set. Missed approach is briefed. VORs are locked and tracking.
American 490, resume normal speed.
Normal speed, American 490.
Crikey.
American 1123, depart J-Storm heading 270, descend and maintain 3000.
Depart J-Storm heading 270, 3000 on the 23.
Okay, let's get the control visualizer up so you guys can see the inputs. Landing gear, landing memos, no blue. I'm going to do 160 till 4 DME. 4033, Brandon. Yes, that's it. Pre-flight 4033. Be a that's what, yeah, but it sounds like 1433 in my head. Autopilot off. Currently an 11 knot headwind, maybe a 1 knot crosswind. But it's variable, it's chopping and changing, very slight gusts. And we'll go back to manage speed for final approach. Little bit of sink there.
American 490, departure storm heading 270, just to maintain 3000.
Departure heading 270 past J-Storm and
400.
After that, sir.
Just to maintain 3000.
3000, American 490.
American 1123, 7.5 miles from Lagoon, turn right heading 340, maintain 2,600 to the south, third ILS from 1 left approach.
340 on the heading, 2,600 to established, clear to the ILS 01 left approach, American 1123.
Southwest 569 Delta, wind variable 4, runway 1 right, clear to land.
Okay, land 018, southwest.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Hold the flare.
Return. 5.
Reverse. Nose is down. Green. Come on, reverses. Seems very laggy, very slow. Kind of far up, noticed with this. Decelerating through 80 knots anyway. Okay, and a Whiskey 5 where we wanted.
Welcome to Tampa, exit right when able, join the Whiskey and stay parking.
Roger, vacating Whiskey 5 and stand echo 73 please.
Frontier 4033, straight ahead Victor 4 into the ramp, have a good night. Or a good day rather.
Straight ahead Victor 4 and departing for Frontier Flight 4033, thanks for the ATC, good day. There's David in the little ATR. Epic. Ooh, brakes. Overzealous. MSFS bug. On the top left then you can see the landing score. So I just sort the lights and signs out. And the Luke Air tool for the cabin announcement. GSX.
American 490, 7.5 miles from Lagoon, turn right heading 340, maintain 2,600 till established, clear ILS runway 1 left approach.
The requested position is already assigned to another aircraft.
Okay, right 340, maintain 2600 till established, 401 American 490.
I'll assume we'll use ASIC. There we go anyway, so where are we? Touchdown zone is there. Red dot suggests right on the centre line. I'll take it. Sam, once you're vectored in for that 30 degrees on the ILS.
On behalf of this flight crew and for the Beaver who's been flying along on our tail and our winglets, we do sincerely appreciate your business here at Frontier. We do look forward to seeing each and every one of you again
and our
on another Frontier flight.
Stand is just here. VerticalSim Tampa is really nice. Only the second time flying into here to be fair, and it's a scenery that we should use more of. 72. Ooh, it says 73 whiskey there. I don't think we want whiskey. No, it's not. So that's fine. Taxi lights off.
4, runway 1 left, clear to land. 1 left, clear to land.
Pop those off.
Osprey 2472, depart safe storm heading 270, descend and maintain 3000.
Turning in. Dan, have a good one, buddy.
Osprey 2472, just so you're aware, it sounds like your microphone may have changed. It sounds like you're all the way across the room.
Yeah, I decided to push it up over my head. Sorry about that.
That'll do it.
And getting guided in by the marshaller.
American 490, wind variable at 4, runway 1 left, clear to lane number 2, 8 miles behind the company 73.
Okay, cleared to land behind company traffic, 1 left, American 490.
Trying to keep the speed off. The brakes are all or nothing in this, aren't they? Come on. The guy's arms are going to go.
Tampa, altimeter 29908, wind 010 at 7. Osprey 2472, 9 miles from Lagoo, turn right heading 340.
That's as good as we can get anyway. So,
2000, correction, 2600 till established, cleared ILS runway 1 left approach.
Engines off.
And 4 miles from Lagoo, turn right to heading
GSX,
240 and descend to 2600 and clear to ILS for runway 01, Osprey 2472.
That's all good, that's all set.
569 Delta, welcome to Tampa, exit left, enable join Charlie and stay parking.
Roger, just, that's why I come down in 01 right and just nipping over to...
Let's have a little look at window capture, new sky, our virtual airline climb, and we'll hit close the flight, we'll see what score we get.
Thank you very much.
9.98, off centre line takeoff ever so slightly, damn it. I was close, we got $9,700 of profit for the virtual airline though, happy days. It's as good as a 10, isn't it?
Roger.
Don't know why they're still waving. Like GSX is kind of bugged out a little bit. Hey ho. And then all of the ground crew are going to swarm the aircraft. Punters are going to get off. I don't know what the Martian is doing. Still waving in an aeroplane apparently. We've got a few of the guys on final. How many have we got in on approach? Do we know? We've got numbers.
Osprey 2472, wind 010 at 7, runway 1 left, clear to land number 3, 8 miles behind an American A320.
Number 3, clear to land, reserve, runway 01
3, epic.
left.
Is that including this one? That was a great touchdown. What I like about this scenery is the fact that they've kind of done, just have a quick look up here, they've done the road network up here to make it look a little realistic as you're flying in on the approach. That's really nice. All these big office buildings, all the signs and everything are all in place here as well, and it's really nicely optimised. Albeit with a bit of photogrammetry, blocky in the background, but we can't really help that unless they end up building all of Tampa. Where do you stop, I guess? Signature Aviation hangar over there. But yeah, Tampa Airport itself. Really nice bit of scenery. Trams are active there as well, look. Zooming back and forth between the extension and the terminal building. I think that prime air is a static as well from memory. But that is it for Tampa. Got these 3 on final. D-pod, whoops. Never good. Should be rendering in imminently. There's the windsock, showing kind of straight down the runway. To be fair, the heck did I just click there? What does the T button do? I hit T. It did some weird things. Let's watch some more touchdowns. 2 more left. Depending on how long Deeper Dolphin's going to be, could be a 3rd one inbound as well we could wait for. "40 miles north," he says there. Here we go. If you guys want cabin announcements that we've had before and you're not used to cabin announcements and all that sort of stuff, you didn't know that you could get them, then head to loopairtool.net and you can download their software for free, and it has an announcements bit in there for which Frontier flight. Got a complete pack, so we had everything from boarding all the way through to after landing announcements, including the safety demonstration as well, that we could kind of click and trigger on their little tile board. Been using Luke Air Tool now for quite a bit of time on the channel, haven't we? It's pretty nice. Atlantis, very nice, great route. We need to do a bit more of the Canary Islands. But they are, it's a good 4.5 or so hours at times, isn't it? Hold the flare. Nice, let it settle.
Attention all aircraft, Tampa approach will be closing in 5 minutes.
Thanks, VATC.
Thanks for flying. American 490, welcome to Tampa. Exit right when able, taxi to the Foxtrot terminal via Victor Yankee.
Victor Yankee to the Foxtrot terminal, American 490, thanks for the Yankee.
David, good work.
Or good day.
I have a habit of saying good night as well.
Here comes Ian. Depot 20 miles south. How many minutes would that be? Has he got his gear down? John, is it you? Oh, now he's getting his gear down. A well-placed reminder on the stream. That's going to be a New Sky penalty for late configuration, I think. Flashbacks to Bristol. First touchdown. With wheels. Extra bonus. So good.
You want to deboard crew.
It's a FSLTL model. Very cool. Might have just been the way the model loads in with FSLTL, to be fair. Apparently D-Pod is... I wonder if we can see him.
Osprey 2472, welcome to Tampa. Exit
No.
taxi to the via Victor 4, have a good night.
Might be there.
Taxi to Red Bar, Osprey 2472.
Yeah, that is him there. There's Deeper Dolphin right there. I can just about see him. A tiny
Tampa approach is now closed.
Tiny little blob.
For the change advisory approved. Thanks for choosing Tampa and have a great day.
So we've got about 5 minutes before he's inbound. Let's have a little look around the scenery because we've not explored it in a little while now. And it's worthy of having a little look at for sure because it's a really nice bit of scenery. If you aren't familiar with VerticalSim's Tampa, it is really good. Here's the interior. Complete with passengers on the phone. Slight animations to them as well, so they're alive, so to speak. Wall textures are a little bit meh, but they're inside textures. You don't really see them all that much. And then we've got the tram stops. We've got this one's about to come in, isn't it? Choo choo. So it's not got an interior because you could literally chase the tram, couldn't you? Where are we parked? We're on that one, aren't we? Cool, somebody give me an update when D-Pod's on final approach and we can whiz back to the threshold to watch his touchdown. Here's the main terminal area where we have been parked up for a little while now. Back there is our jet. Looking good. Glass textures are a nice little change. What they've done here is they've just done enough to kind of give you something to see from the gate. Oh. And then left the rest. Which when you think about it is fine because you don't always just go and explore the airport when you're in a flight sim, do you? It's all about textures and optimizations and all the rest of it, but if you're going to do an interior, sometimes it's nice to see it done properly. Sometimes it's nice to see it a bit bare. What VerticalSim have done is a really nice exterior. Everything you should see in flight and around the flight deck and around the aircraft has all been done quite carefully. It's a vast airport. Bigger than you kind of realise, to be fair. Everything, I guess, here feeds into the centre hub that we're over at the moment, and then the trams will take you to the relevant concourse for your flights. I assume that's, by the looks of it, at least how Tampa works in real life. Oh, look at that. Taxiway over there. That'd be cool to taxi on. And then tower. Goes off all the way up there, look. There's the central business district. Oh, there's the Bucks Stadium. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'd not noticed that before, to be fair. We got all of that there as well. Some maintenance facilities, cargo. BOR. Ian. Whoops. Yeah, there's the Bucks Stadium. Now I have to go and have a look. Is it Raymond James Stadium, isn't it? See if we can get there and back before Deeper Dolphin comes in. Someone can give me a heads up in the live chat when he's inbound. Engine run at bay. Bit of cargo over there as well. Now that would be cool, flying in on this this runway there. 28. Oh, that's cool, look at that. Now we just need the Fox NFL Thursday night football theme music. Which is conveniently my own ringtone. A lot of time for that. I'm a Patriots fan really, but I do like watching the Bucks play when since Brady moved. No pirate ship though, David, no. They've done all this as well, look. D-pod's turning base. Thanks for the update. This is where the posh people fly. Shelter. So that's interesting. We had the shelter sign, didn't we, at Fly2High's Long Island. This one looks a little bit better. Look at that. You can actually read it. With the Renaissance Hotel in the backdrop as well. Let's turn super fast drone camera off. We'll bring the speed back down to DJI Mavic Pro. And then signature aviation as well. This is cool. Not really explored it too much. But we've found things that I'd not even noticed last time we flew here. David, yeah, weird that. Wonder what livery it is. It'd be interesting to know. But they've even done this, look. A couple of hotels on the... There's the Grand Hyatt on the bay. That's good. They've gone to town with actually creating some really good scenery. I can't see anyone else on Unicom. Quite possibly. Don't know if they're on VATSIM, but over Bushnell in Florida at the minute, there's Virgin 129 Romeo flying Heathrow to Tampa in the A330-900. And they're inbound Tampa in a little while. They're about 20-30 minutes out though. Oh, the Frontier Pack, David. Fair enough. I've only downloaded the specific one. Yeah, Virgin 129 Romeo. 46 miles out, and they are on VATSIM, flying long haul. How epic is that? Delta 72 at 10 miles. Might be United 1825 who's cut you up. They're on 7 mile final apparently. Yeah, D-pod. You have been cut up by somebody. Ah well. I'll just ignore them and land behind them anyway. If that's the case. I'll just land after. I've decided a little while ago now that if people cut me up on VATSIM and do stuff that's against kind of like the rules of VATSIM, then what I do is I just ignore it. Or, very quickly D-pod, go to .aircraft in vPilot, find that Delta call sign, just hide him. Better than a Holossian. Oh, now it's appeared. Sammy, if you're watching, come on. You literally spawned mid-flight downwind at Tampa. That's naughty. So, 2 miles. You press the ignore button, look. So that he's there. Press ignore, he disappears. And then you don't see him. Then we can watch D-Pod, who's right behind him, who's been doing things properly. Davide, hello. I haven't had a look at the new Philly yet.
Tampa traffic Delta 72, short final, we're left.
Who's made the latest one? It's Dominic Design Team, isn't it? They usually make very, very good scenery, so I would be angled towards them, I think. I haven't really looked at it. I'm looking at possibly getting one of them sorted for a preview or stream copy for maybe next week. We'll see what happens really with that. There we go. Now I've unignored the call sign from the list so that it doesn't impact other flights in future. Here he comes. Last pilot in. So yeah, a little recap for tomorrow. If you are looking for some FlySim content, we're going to be chasing and avoiding and navigating around Super Typhoon Mawar tomorrow, departing Manila in the Philippines, and then heading up to Kai Tak for an approach into Kai Tak Airport. From there, turning around, time permitting, and heading up to Taiwan, landing at Taipei International Airport as well for the first time. It's got the double T payware scenery for that, but they are a pretty, to be frank, crap developer. So if you're looking at buying scenery, if you see the words double T, unless you want to buy FSX quality or freeware, barely freeware quality scenery and pay money for it, go ahead. But otherwise, avoid double T. They're the only people who have created a Taiwan or Taipei International Airport scenery, but the quality of it is pretty poor, so I wouldn't spend money on it. However, I've downloaded it for the purpose of tomorrow, so you guys get to see it anyway. Again, time permitting, we'll be flying around Tropical Storm Mawar in the PMDG 737-800. It's going to be quite good. Certainly it's going to put us to the test as well. So that's going to be tomorrow 1200 UTC, 1 o'clock UK time in the afternoon, based then in whatever time zone you are in around the world. Thanks for flying along today, I hope you've enjoyed it. Fly2High's new Long Island Airport scenery for MSFS, down to VerticalSim Tampa in the experimental branch of the Flybywire A32NX. Massive thank you, of course, to send. Where are we? Fuller of Spikes, Larry, James. Thank you guys for your super chats earlier on, and all of your new channel memberships as well that have come out. We've got 7 new channel members today, 5 of which were donated very generously. It slips my mind by who earlier on. I'm scrolling rapidly trying to find him in the live chat. Cornelius, there we go, thank you very much. Oh my god. Enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the very first time on the channel, some active live weather storm chasing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. See you later. Take care. Thanks for watching.